get started, I don't want to keep you here any longer than necessary. One thing that I'm thinking about is we don't have the sound system on in here, and I don't think the acoustics in this room are really that good. And some of you know that you're going to be expected to make some kind of speech here. Everybody's a valedictorian in drug court. So remember to keep your voice up when that time comes. Welcome to all of you who are friends and family or visitors to drug court. This, of course, is the graduation, which runs a little bit differently than a normal weekly drug court status session. But it's really nice of you to be here and be supportive of the people who are participating in this program, and especially the ones graduating today who have they've been through a long and pretty intensive process in order to get to where they are. And so they have a lot that they can feel proud of. Okay, well, we have 8 graduates today. And as I said, it has been a long and hard road for them, some longer than others, and some harder than others. But I can tell you that I am proud of each and every one of them. And I know that the team is proud of every one of them. And they all have a lot that they can be proud of themselves. Because those of you who know what this is all about, it's not an easy thing. And it takes a lot of courage just to admit that you need to do something to address a problem of addiction and to acknowledge it to others. But it's also a lot of hard work just to get through the program. So again, you have every right to feel very proud of what you have been able to accomplish during the period of time that you've been in drug court.
My name is Sadie Arcaro. I'm 25 years old. I'm from Conneaut, Ohio. And my drug court experience has been a little bit rocky. Started off, I thought it was going to be easy. It was the most intense thing I've ever experienced in my entire life. I fought it nail and tooth, and I got myself in a lot of trouble throughout the process. They hold you accountable for every single decision you make. You have immediate consequences for every single one of your actions you take, good or bad. They reward you when you do well, but you get sanctions, you go to jail, you do community service, there's a lot of things that you have to do when you do wrong. And I understand that, I get it now. But a long time I just thought it was so petty, and it wasn't worth anything, and it was just, what's the point in this? But once you get to the finish line, you look back and you're grateful for all the blessings it's given you. You know, it's taught me a new way of life, sober, I have a relationship with my family, my kids, I'm employable, I keep a job now, and I'm free. My freedom means the world to me. I'm grateful.
Any advice for people that might be headed down the same path you were headed down at one time?
Don't do it, ask for help. Don't let it get you as far as it got me. I had to hit my rock bottom. I was at the farthest on the bottom as I possibly could be. Years later, 5, 6 years later, now I'm here. And it's going to be a struggle every single day of my life, you know, to get everything back in order, to get my ducks in a row.
Get them here, so I won't be able to give it to you, but you will get the coin. So the first person I'd like to call up is Josh Eaton. And I'm going to call the people in a particular order for a reason. Josh is a diversion drug court candidate. Josh, according to records I was looking at, you're just about 5 weeks short of a year from the official day you were admitted to drug court. So of all the candidates here today, he actually got through it in the shortest period of time. And you did really do very well throughout the period of time if you've been in drug court. So I was looking back over some notes from the times that you reported with me, and it seems like we did talk a lot about Zara. And I know that you're really, really proud of her. Absolutely. And I want you to know that she can be very, very proud of her father. And then the other thing is, I guess you're at a point where you're probably over 13 months sobriety. I don't remember the exact date, but it's somewhere in excess of that. Yeah. So again, like, you're doing very well. Now, is there anyone here that maybe we should recognize that came here particularly to see your graduation?
Yeah, my mom.
All right.
I love that woman to death. You know, through my active addiction, I was a mess. You know, a lot of family turned away from me, but that's one person that never, ever, ever turned her back. No matter what I did, she was always there for me. I love you, Mom.
I love you too.
to tell you something that, I have to tell you, sometimes when I would be talking to Josh and he would say that, you know, he had seen you, and I would ask him, well, is she supportive of your recovery? And he said, you were definitely his best support. You have been his best supporter all the way through. Do you have any other family? I thought you said you were going to have some people coming in today.
Yeah, I have my sister, my niece, my aunt, my wonderful girlfriend. You know, I got quite a few people here. Some, you know, that didn't get a chance to make it, but I know that they support me also.
Well, I think that part of the secret to success is for everybody to be able to have a good support network. And it really helps if your family's on board to be able to help you. So you've been very lucky that way, too. Anything else you'd like to say?
I don't know. It's just, you know, when I first came into this process, I really wasn't sure as to what I really wanted. I didn't know if I really wanted to stay clean. I knew I just didn't want to go to jail. But somewhere along the lines, something came down and gave me a real realization as to that this has got to be the way that I have to live today, you know, and I've adapted myself to that, and that's okay, because my life has never been better. I would like to thank the drug court team, you know, for believing in me when I couldn't believe in myself, and that's pretty much it, you know. And if you're new in this program, just stick with it. You know, because I struggled for a long time. I was worried for what was going to happen, but, you know, it'll grow on you. It'll change your life. That's what this program's about, life changing. That's all I got.
Well, congratulations. And at this time, I'd like to ask our prosecuting attorney, Mr. Arrochi, to make a more important presentation.
Well, Josh is a conversion candidate participant. That means that if you successfully complete drug court, the criminal charge that was filed against you, in your case, a 5th-degree felony possession of heroin, that has been dismissed forever. It is off of your record, and here's the entry that proves it. So, congratulations.
Whenever I'm taking a plea in a drug court case and people acknowledge that they've signed this drug court agreement, I always basically tell them you're giving up all your rights and you're basically throwing yourself on the mercy of the drug court judge. So that's kind of the way I do it. All right, Courtney Hobson. Okay. So according to my calculations, you're just a couple of weeks over a year since you were officially admitted into drug court. So again, you are on a pretty reasonable schedule. I don't feel like over the period of time that I've gotten to know you, the drug court really has been an easy path for you. No, but you have worked at it. And obviously you've succeeded because you're here today. Right? Okay, well, you have a right to be proud. But I'm wondering about this. You're not going to get the accountability in the drug court. Right? You're not going to miss that?
I might.
You might. You're not going to have to come and see me anymore. So, I mean, you think you're set up to be able to stay on this path to recovery?
I think so.
Something you want for the rest of your life?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. I do, and I should have asked some others about this, but I guess you're probably at least 13 months or more sober?
Yes.
All right. So
Couple weeks.
Anybody you have here, we can introduce or recognize.
My mom's here,
All right.
my boyfriend, and my son. He's sitting over there by Sarah. He's kind of separated.
Oh, I see, okay. All right, well, what about your speech? What can we ask you to share with everyone here today about your experience?
It definitely wasn't easy. I struggled with it at the beginning, especially with living environment that was extremely hard. But I just stuck with it. I was in a state of mind in a place where I just couldn't get out of at all. And without drug court, I would never have got out of it. I don't think, no, I would definitely still be out there right now if it wasn't for drug court. And for that, I will always be grateful. That's it.
All right, well, congratulations. certificate. And Mr. Arocha. By the way, Courtney is also a diversion candidate. I should have mentioned that when we started.
Courtney, the charge that was filed against you, which was attempted illegal assembly or possession of chemicals for the manufacture of drugs, that's a very serious offense, a fourth-degree felony. Well, we dismissed that this morning. It's gone off your record forever as a result of your graduation. Congratulations.
All right, Dennis Kermansky. Let's see. Dennis also is a diversion candidate. So it looks like it's been a little over a year since the official date you were admitted to the drug court.
Yes, sir.
And let's see. You're another one who actually did pretty well. You almost made it all the way through without any sanction.
Yeah, close, real close.
Really close. And then one little slip up with the missed call. All right. What seems like over the period of time when I would have the status meetings with Dennis, I talked a lot about your job. And I don't know, I mean it's when you got your regular job. I kind of felt like you really didn't like the job that much. But on the other hand, it did seem like you became very good at it.
Yeah, you don't really like much of anything when you get sober, you know. Learning how to deal with people's personalities in a healthy way, you know, it's practice. And it's not easy at first, but, you know, I worked real hard for it, and it's all paying off. So, you know, you got to do what you got to do when your back's against the wall, you know.
Well, sure, that's one way to look at it. But I really did feel like, at least in your job circumstances, you earned the respect of your coworkers and your supervisors. And I'm sure that in all of your other relationships, things have probably changed since you've been through this drug court experience.
Oh yeah, I'm way more mellow than I used to be. You know, I used to think it's everybody else's fault, you know. And then I started taking accountability for things, you know, and growing up a little bit. It's worked out real well.
Well, that's good. Now, what about you? Did you bring any friends or family that we should recognize here today?
Yeah, I got my mom. She's sitting right there.
All right. Okay. Glad you were here. I'm sure you've been supportive throughout.
Yeah, I'm stepping away.
Okay. And then any final parting words you can give all of your other friends here from the drug court?
You know, you got to work hard for this. You can't just walk through it and expect it to be easy. When you start having problems in this program, you got to look at yourself. You know, because it's not your guys' fault. It's not anything outside of you, you know. Just that one missed calling I made, I realized there was things in my life that were out of balance, you know. You sign up for a job for drug court, you know, it's your responsibility to maintain those and get your priorities in order, you know. So if you guys are having any little slip up, you got to take a second look at yourself, because that's the only place you're going to find the answers, you know. And you got to ask for help. You can't come off the streets, come out of jail, and expect to do this stuff on your own.
Yeah, that's really important advice. Don't be too proud or don't be afraid to ask for help, because there's a lot of people around that will help give help and support. All right, anything else?
No, I think that's plenty.
Huh? Let me invite Mr. Arocha up then.
Well, Dennis, you were a diversion candidate, and you had 2 charges against you of trafficking in heroin. They were 5th-degree felonies, the lowest level degree felony that drug court will allow anybody to participate in if it's a trafficking offense. So, with your successful and very successful graduation, you did very well in this program, just like all of your fellow graduates. Your charges have been dismissed.
All right.
All right, Ivan is a post-conviction graduate. Good, how are you this morning? All right, good. So I think it's been a little over 13 months since the official date you were admitted into drug court. So it took you a little more than a year. Seems like you've done fairly well to me throughout the program. You're also kind of an entrepreneur. You're always working on some kind of a business venture of some sort, seems like.
Right.
Everything's still going well for you that way?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I don't know, how do you think you're going to stay sober without having the accountability of the drug court?
I'm just diving into my program. You know, I'm gonna get involved in service work. I'm looking into GSR. Maybe start working with people. I don't know, just really get more involved in my age group and my support group and stuff like that. Staying busy is one of the things that really helped me in the beginning, and it's still helping me now. I'm busy pretty much all day. You know, I work and then I go to school, so it's like I don't have time for anything else really.
All right, staying busy, that's another theme that I hear a lot, so keep that in mind. Anybody here that we should recognize? Family or friends?
Nobody came with that.
No? Okay, well, I think you've had a lot of support.
Oh,
It seems to be.
yeah, they're supportive. They wanted to come. I told them honestly not to.
Oh, okay.
They were busy. They had like them working and stuff. I just didn't feel like they should miss work for this, you know.
Okay. Well, there's one other thing. I don't know if my notes are correct on this, but it looks like you've got probably over 19 months of sobriety.
Yep.
All right. That's good. All right. I'm going to give you this certificate acknowledging your accomplishment here in drug court. And Mr. Arochi will present you with your more important legal documents.
Hi, as Judge Joe said, you're a post-conviction participant, and as a result of your graduation, you have successfully completed that condition of your community controls, and we have a judgment entry signed by Judge Yost proving that. So, congratulations.
Kyle Collier. Yeah, all right. So Kyle's an aversion candidate. But it looks to me like it was almost 17 months since the date you were admitted into drug court.
Yeah.
So yes, you're one of the ones that took a little longer.
Yeah.
All right. The other thing I noticed is you had your share of sanctions since we went through this.
Yeah, I like to follow rules, you know, part of my character defects. Yeah.
Character defects, that's another thing to think about. All right. Do you have a sponsor yet? I've been wanting to ask you that.
No, not yet.
Not yet. Graduating drug court, you don't even have a sponsor.
Yeah.
Well, you have, at this point, successfully satisfied all the requirements of drug court, so you are eligible. The main thing I'm worried about is just making sure that we keep you on track.
Right, yeah.
All right.
Well, I got good support, you know, my girlfriend is here, my mom's here, my kid's here. You know, they're the most important things to me in the world right now, so, and as you know, my girlfriend is also a graduate of this program, and she's staying clean and doing the right thing. She does a great job at raising our kid, too. My mom, she's always supported me, you know, so I got a lot of support, and I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing because right now it's working for me.
All right, well, that sounds good. Congratulations. And Mr. Arochi is going to present you with your journals.
All right. I got to tell the story. So I had a late meeting at the Geneva Lodge one evening, and I'm driving back from the lodge east on Lake Road, and I see this couple walking down Lake Road, the main drag in Geneva on the lake, and there was a young lady who was pulling their child in a wagon, and the protective father, as she was going this way, the protective father was walking backwards in traffic, protecting his significant other and his child. And I had to do a double take. And I said, "Oh my gosh, that's Kyle." And he says, "Man, that was pretty cool to me when I saw that." And so,
I try to do the right thing.
well, as I said at the last graduation, when Michelle was up here, I was defiantly against you and Michelle participating in drug court. My office really felt that you didn't deserve being drug court, and Judge Mackey fought for you. And he really basically vetoed me, and I'm glad you did. Michelle's doing great, and you graduated, and the possession of heroin charge, a 5th-degree felony that's been filed against you because you're a diversion participant has been dismissed with prejudice. It's gone. Awesome.
Sadie Arcaro. Sadie's another diversion candidate. It's been roughly, I think, about 18 months since you were admitted. So I started with the person who got through in the shortest amount of time, and I'm working my way through to the ones that took a little more work to get them through this. So you really had a problem with college. Bad. Yeah, I don't know what it is about you not being able to make it.
I had like 3 in 2 weeks.
Yeah. And you, over the course you've been here, you've taken some pretty serious sanctions, too. But I have to give you credit, because you really stuck it out. She told me, as one of her sanctions, she had to write something for me, and she says, I believe that now I have more potential than myself and a lot of others give me credit for. And this is just my opinion, for what it's worth. I think you're really a lucky person, because I believe that you really have the potential to do just about anything that you really want to do, if you put your mind to it. So you have to want it, and that's the only thing that I do worry about a little bit. Sometimes you want to do the wrong things. But defiant, that might be a good way to put it. Such as defiant. But anyway, it's been kind of a long run for you, and we had a meeting one time, that's another thing I might mention, where it was actually pointed out to her that the betting was against her when she first started. All the smart money said, Sadie's never going to make it through drug court. And here she is. I think because she's so defiant, that was the day that she really changed. Because I'm going to show them. Yeah?
That's exactly what it was.
I believe it. I believe it. Is there anybody here that you recognize that's here with you?
I don't have any family here, but Luke came.
All right. Great. And what about any final words that you can share with us, especially with everyone else, that kind of help them?
Don't fight it. Just don't fight it, really. It's odds are in your favor if you just do what you're supposed to do. Make that phone call. Like, just call every day, just do it. Because no one wants to sit in jail over a phone call. No matter how petty it seems, you gotta do it. And I want to, drug court, I apologize for everything I put you guys through. Thank you for being so patient with me, tolerant. Jason, all the time, he always told me everything that I needed to hear when I didn't want to hear it. He had my back, he believed in me, and I appreciate that. Joanne, you've been awesome forever, since day one. And everything comfortable. Even when she wasn't involved in the actual drug court thing, she's always been around. And I love her. Stephanie, she's always, what are you doing, Sadie? Why? And, but she had patience with me too. Nick Irochi, #1 on my thank you list. Like, so much history. Every time I see you just in the courtroom, it takes me back to before when all this started. And, like, I know what I can do. And I know what I can do from here, and I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity. And you too, Judge Jones, because I was not very nice for a long time. So, sorry and thank you.
Yeah, probably all of you who have had the chance to get to know Sadie, to hear her say, don't fight it, that's just remarkable. So congratulations.
Well, the history that we have is I used to be your softball coach. He's tall, and Sadie's my daughter's age. And you were pretty rough back then. But of course, drugs weren't part of your life back then. And we really had to work with you, as you well know. And in fact, the charge that was filed against you to get you into drug court was because you were in a turning point and escaped.
Yeah.
You were ordered into turning point by Judge Keenan Police out of Asheville Municipal Court and escaped.
And left.
You left.
You know?
Yeah. And so we filed a felony charge against you for escape, so we can get you in our team, in our system, and fortunately for us, and especially for you and your family, it worked. So, on behalf of the drug court team, this is signed by Judge Cezanne, I'm handing you a dismissal entry dismissing the felony escape charge against you. It's gone forever.
Thank you.
All right, well again, congratulations to all of the graduates. For the rest of you who still have a ways to go, I mean, you can see it can be done. It is difficult, but it's not impossible.
My name is Joshua Eden. I am from Conneaut, Ohio, and my drug court experience has been a great one. It's been life-changing. I started out not knowing who I was and what I wanted to be, but somewhere along the way, from all the hard work and dedication and the help from the drug court team, the people at LARC, I have accomplished what I set out to do, and that is to, find out who I am and why I am the way I am. To help me fight the disease of addiction, which is, it's probably one of the worst diseases known to man. And with the help and the guidance through everyone with the drug court team and the willingness that I had, I'm able to sit here and say that I have over 13 months clean. I have a great job and my life has changed. And I'm very happy and thankful for being in this process. I had the opportunity to choose whether I wanted to be in it, and I took that opportunity, and I'm very thankful for it, very thankful for it.
Did you resist drug court to begin with?
No, I did not resist it. I was just worried about, really not going to jail. That was my main concern, was I didn't want to go to prison because I was afraid that I would not be okay in prison. But I got the opportunity to get into the drug court program, and I took it, and it's changed my life. It really has. I've become something that I never thought was inside of me, and that's a human living.
And what do you think of this result of this drug court?
Oh, I am so proud of him. My son was on a downward spiral, very bad. And I did not know how to help him. But through the drug court and all the help that he's gotten from them and all of his support from them, he has become the man I knew he could be.
If I have a chance to say to the newcomer, just stick it out. Just give yourself a break. We ran around for a long, long time, in our addictions, and coming into this process, we're able to give ourselves a break from the insanity of the disease, and we don't have to live that way anymore. There's a new way of life. And it's found through the drug court program and through the fellowships of AA and NA.
What changes in your lifestyle did you make?
First and foremost, I didn't use just for today. Just for today, I didn't use. And then one day turned into two and so forth. I did the footwork, It's not easy by any means. You have to put your pride and ego aside and admit that you need help. And through loving fellowships outside of drug court, I was able to find that help. Be able to use tools like the therapeutic value of one addict helping another is without parallel. To know that I wasn't alone in the way that I was feeling and the way that I was dealing with situations, that helped out a lot. To know that no matter what, I didn't have to use because I felt a certain way. That I knew through going to meetings and doing the footwork, like talking to my sponsor and going through IOP, that my thought process was wrong. My reactions to things were wrong. The drugs was just a symptom, but the real problem was me. And I found a way out. I found a way out.